Hi, I'm Erick Knowles, president of the Miami Dade Chamber of Commerce, and this is another member connection. And before we get started with my very special guest, we're going to hear a word from our sponsor.
This is garbage, and you probably think all of it just goes to waste. But in Miami-Dade, we convert most of what you throw away into energy. In our waste-to-energy facility, we can turn about 90% of your everyday garbage into reusable fuel.
Levels look good.
That creates clean electricity for our community. Enough energy to power 35,000 homes. Pretty illuminating, huh? In Miami-Dade, nothing goes to waste.
And here we are, member connection, Miami Dade Chamber of Commerce, and I told you I had a special guest. I'm I'm so excited to have this young man with me today, Mr. Jeff Lazama. Jeff Lazama, president, owner of CMS International, my boss, chairman of the Miami Dade Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Jeff.
Erick, thank you, and it's good to be with familiar faces.
Yeah.
Good to be with you. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. You know, we've been doing this member connection now. We started just before the pandemic. We would do it, on Facebook Live, and, we had the honor and the pleasure of Miami-Dade North Campus giving us this studio to do this. And so I want to thank you, first of all, thank the North Campus, thank the president of the North Campus for allowing us to be here. But also, we're here to talk about CMS International and Jeff Lazama.
So we're not going to talk about the chamber at all?
No. Well, we may talk about the chamber a little bit. We may talk about the chamber a little bit. Obviously, you are the chairman of the board.
Yes.
So, you're in your last years, your chairmanship. Here we are. We still got a little while.
Yes, we do.
To go through.
A few more months to go.
Yeah, we've got several more months to go through.
Yes.
And so, how has your chairmanship been? So let's talk about the chamber.
Well, listen, it's been the greatest honor for me to be to have been voted as the chairman of chairman of the board of this great organization. I've been with the chamber since 2016, been on the board, was at one time the chairman-elect where I served, but to be part of this organization is great, but to be the chairman of it is probably the biggest honor in my entire life, and I'll say that and with a lot of pride, and this is part of I guess one of the greatest things for me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Being on a board, a lot of us are involved with nonprofits
Mm-hmm.
and organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean to you? I know you're on other boards. You actually was the president, chairman of the Haitian American Chamber of Commerce, and we do a lot of work, collaboration with the Haitian American Chamber. But just board responsibility, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot, especially for an organization as such as Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce, knowing the impact that this organization is having on the day-to-day lives of people, of small entrepreneurs, of business owners, in the resources that it's bringing to them, and to be on that board in trying to carve the different resources and trying to be that support system for you, Erick, being the president that carries out the day-to-day function of this organization, and to see the results of it. As we can see, you just talked about the pandemic. You would talk about this member connection that you're doing right now,
right.
And to see the growth of that as being just a small seed that we planted,
right.
Just to bring some extra help to folks that we knew were going to go through some hard times,
right.
And to see how this has become probably one of the biggest tools for them, and also to have that seat today over at Miami-Dade campus, to have this now on a very professional level being done, right?
Right.
So we can see that, and it's just, like I said again, it's just such a great privilege knowing that as a member of a board. Sometimes you sit in a room, you don't even know the impact of your contribution.
Right.
And but to see it implemented and to see how it impacts lives. And it's a great thing. It's probably for me. It's an honorable responsibility.
Right. Thank you.
Yes.
And I enjoy working with you. I enjoyed you being our chairman for the last year, going on year and a half, and we've done a lot in these last couple of years.
Yes.
I mean, you came in, as you said, pretty much in the height of the pandemic.
Sure did.
And we've had to pivot.
Oh.
We've all had to adjust, and then thank you for your leadership in helping us do that. So I just want to say that as well.
I appreciate it, Eric, and it takes a whole lot of other support system, the entire board, to have been able to weather that storm.
Right.
And like you say, the word to pivot and to see where we are today. What I want to say to you, I'll bring it right back to you. Thank you for the work that you do.
Right.
I mean, you put in the sweat, you put in the effort, you put in the energy, and we see the results.
Well, and then, it's really a team effort, again. And
Yes.
I'm not here to stroke you,
Yeah,
rub your
yeah,
back
it
stroke.
is.
But really, the board allows me to do the work that I do.
Right.
And, boards are there to set policy
Yeah.
and help guide an organization, and you all do such a great job.
Yeah.
And again, under your leadership, the way you manage the process it's great. So I
you.
just
Thank you.
truly appreciate
Thank you.
your time that you've been, and it's volunteer time.
It is.
This is volunteer time because
is.
your responsibility is to help grow the organization.
Right.
And you're not, it's a misnomer when you say you're not being paid for it.
Right.
Because in reality, you are.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit since we've gone down this path.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the fact that, when you join a board and you engage, it's not a direct compensation that you get,
Yeah.
but it's the work that you put in that really comes back to you eventually.
It sure does because, like I said, I'm a proponent of chamber. I understand the value of chambers, and to me, as a business owner, if you're not part of a chamber, I think you're just missing one component of your business that can open doors for you.
Okay.
And for me, chambers gives you that platform. It creates that platform for you where you can make that connection, where it can open up doors for you. And chamber has done that for me. The Haitian American Chamber, just was the start for me.
Right.
And it opened up many doors, and now transitioning into Miami Dade Chamber, being on the board and being the chairman, like you said, you don't look for immediate compensation, but the connection that you make, it's priceless.
Right. And talking about, you are a businessman.
Yes.
How long have you been in business? And I know you have a story behind.
I have a great story behind it.
Let's hear that story.
It's an American story. To
Right.
me, it's the pure American story. I was working as a simple employee for this company out of Atlanta, Georgia. In fact, I had in my industry. I'm in the construction industry. I'm in windows and doors, and I've been working in the Caribbean since the early 1990s. And I guess I've done such a great job that nationally, my name was spread around nationally. So this company out of Georgia asked me to open up a branch for them here in Miami to serve the Caribbean, to represent their products in the Caribbean. So I started that in 1999 with just myself as an employee. I grew that business to about 15 employees and doing very good revenue, annual revenue for the company. But 2007 came about.
Right.
And where we got hit, the market crash, and our company had to go through reorganization. And I just knew it, Eric, that there was going to be a decision made about my branch.
Right.
So I sort of I had the intuition, so I moved ahead of that, and I went to my owners and asked them, what would be the decision that they're going to make about my branch. And my boss at that time was very forthright with me and very transparent with me and said, Jeff, listen, yes, we're going to reorganize, and yes, we are about to we intend to close your branch. And I said, what can you guys do for me as far as a job? He says, well, it's kind of tough, but here's an offer I'll make to you. Why don't you buy the branch since you're the one who started it for us?
Wow.
And I said, okay, how does one buy a business?
Right.
And I didn't know. But in my mind, that was an opportunity.
Right.
So leaving that meeting, I knew something special was handed to me. And then, in 2008, I turned around and I said, "Listen, I have no money. I don't have the capital to buy a business." He goes, "Well, you do." And I said, "What? You probably know my finance better than I do."
Right.
And he goes, "You have a 401k." And I said, "Okay." He goes, "Well, break into your 401k, buy it, and we'll finance the rest." And I never looked back.
Wow.
And this is how I end up buying my business in 2008. The great thing that happened for me, that the company made sure that they gave a severance package to all of my employees, and at that time, so I bought a goodwill.
Right.
I started from scratch, and now I've grown my company back, and we are, I would say, one of the most solid window and door distributor in Miami, in South Florida,
Right.
and we're probably top 2 distributor of windows and doors in the Caribbean.
Now, you talk about being the distributor of windows and doors.
Yes.
It's not just distributor of windows and doors.
Yes.
Let's go into this a little deeper.
Yes.
What is it? And you and I talk very often,
Yeah.
a few times a week. And sometimes when I call you, I hear this funny tone because you're out of the country.
Yeah.
You're in St. Martin,
Yeah.
you're in Haiti, you're in Jamaica or Bahamas or
Right.
somewhere.
Right.
Basically, fitting hotels.
Yes.
You're building. You're
Yes.
putting windows and doors in major hotels in the Caribbean. Talk about that.
Well, we are a direct distributor for large manufacturers, so people can understand manufacturers don't sell direct to the public.
Right.
They go through distribution. So you have to have that system, or you have to put in place a system where you can become a manufacturer's direct distributor, which we are. We represent some of the largest manufacturers of windows and doors from the U.S., and also we bring products from Europe as well. I cover the entire Caribbean. My projects start from mid-range residential to very high-end to commercial and hospitality. So when you talk about hotels, yes, or clients, for example, all the Sendos hotels, we do windows and doors for all the Sendos hotels. I just finished 3 hotels in in St. Martin for Diamond Resorts and Morgan Resorts. We do some of the Marriott projects throughout the Caribbean. In Haiti, I've done Kinam Hotel, Caribe Hotel. One of my most proud project, I would say, would be the Supreme Court of Haiti.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we did all the windows and doors. That was a customized project that we did in the Supreme Court of Haiti. So we do that, and we're here in Miami. We do multifamily projects, for example, the Liberty Square project.
Yeah, I wanted to get into
that,
Liberty
yep.
Square.
Mm-hmm.
So folks who are watching, and obviously if you're from Miami, I'm sure you know Liberty Square, or the Pork and Bean, as it's fondly known. And it was one of the first major housing developments, low-income housing developments back in the 20s. And it was President Roosevelt that basically had it done. Mm-hmm. And here we are in 2022, and it was 700 homes,
Right.
Apartments, basically. Mm-hmm. And we've partnered with Related. The chamber did, and Related won the RFP to basically knock down those 700 homes and build now what is 1,700
Right.
Low income. Workforce,
I would say
affordable housing, workforce housing, and market rate housing that they're going to be building there, 1,700 units. And who's doing the windows and doors?
Your faithful servant Jeff is doing all the windows and doors. Yes, that's been probably one of the best projects I've been associated with for many reasons. Not only just doing the windows and doors, and it's knowing just that the background of what you just talked about, that being one of the oldest projects. So this is a historical project for
Exactly.
Miami, and to be part of this historical project, and we can see how lives have changed down in Liberty City, in giving these people a better living space, a better living area, and we can see how that's impacting, even diminishing the crime rate in the area, because people now are living in better conditions than ever did before. So we just finished the first 3 phases of rental properties. It's 492 units we just finished. That's phase 1, 2, 3, and we're just now starting phase 4, which would be, I think it's a 6 or 7 story unit, and then we go on into the phase 5 and the commercial area of the project.
Wow. As you said, major project that you as a business and your relationship with the chamber has helped you pivot or build those relationships to take on a project such as that.
Well, and this is what, in doing this, I like to communicate to folks who are watching right now, folks who are just small business owners, to understand that when you're in the right room, opportunities do open. And by being in the chamber, by being a member of the chamber, mind you now, before I became a board member, my business is also a member of the chamber.
Right.
I pay my dues every year,
Right.
also,
Right.
to be and this is what happens when you become a member of chambers. And these opportunities that do come, and chambers being, like you said, the Miami Dade Chamber was part of this whole project with Related Urban, and then not only I was the only person to get an opportunity of that. Many of our other chamber members got an opportunity to be subcontractors in this project.
Right. So what's on the horizon for CMS?
Oh, great things are happening at CMS. We're expanding. We are going through a whole transformation at our office right now. It's been a great 2 years, especially this year in construction. As you can see, Eric, you see the skyline in Miami.
We thought it was going to slow down a little bit. I remember, here we are. I've been running the chamber now 8 years. And 8 years ago, you probably saw, I don't know, 20, 30 cranes in the air.
Yeah.
And it's still
Right.
a number
Right.
of cranes still in the air. And it's not just downtown. It's Doral, it's Aventura, it's all over Miami-Dade, it's South Dade.
Yeah.
So, Miami, as they have said recently, is the spot everybody wants to be.
Yeah, well, Miami is the epicenter for construction right now. That's where all the major construction, we're seeing a lot of great projects popping up in the city of North Miami, in North Miami Beach, for example. So CMS is just, we just are participating in a lot of great projects, but we're talking to the small homeowners also.
Right.
If you are doing the renovation, to put impact windows and doors in your house, just so you can get that discount from your insurance company. Not only that, you upkeeping your house.
Right.
Because right now, putting impact is almost a must. Most people who are buying home right now, the first thing they're asking the seller, do you have impact windows in the house?
Right.
So it's important that you understand that doing impact windows, not only that you're going to save money in your insurance, you're going to save money in your electricity bill, but you're beautifying the house.
Right.
You're bringing the house up to code, so you don't have to worry about putting shutters anymore.
Right.
So we are doing a lot of single-family homes. We're doing a lot of renovations.
And talk about, we got to, one thing about, you just said, you don't have to put up shutters on your door, on your house, on your windows, but talk about, we got, very quickly, explain an impact window.
Well, impact windows, what it is, it's laminated glass, 2 pieces of glass with a gel in between, but it's not just the glass, it's the entire frame system that is made to sustain that glass, and then it goes into a whole installation process where if you get into a major hurricane, for example, what produces disaster in a home, for example? It's a flying debris, a 2x4, coconut, whatever would break a glass, and then that wind gets into your house, it creates a turbulence, it lifts your roof, and therefore your house destroys. Simplest way of explaining this. But the first way to protect your house is by your openings, is your windows and doors.
Okay.
If you have that impact windows and doors, so that flying debris or the projectile won't get into the house to cause all the damage.
So someone wants to get in touch with CMS International?
Get in touch. 305-628-3421 is our number. CMS-Miami.com is our website. Just give us a call or write us, info@cms-miami.com. That's where you write to us, and we'll get somebody to come to your house to measure for you. If you are an architect and you want to come for us to come and do a presentation to your office, we do things like box lunches, where we go to architect's office, we go to builder's office, we provide you with the education. A lot of the architects will need that continuous education for their licensing, and we can provide that to them as well.
Well, this has been the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. If you want to learn more about the Chamber, go to www.m-dcc or call the Chamber at 305-751-8648. Thank you for joining us. Jeff, thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
And we're back, and I'm here with Miss Joanna Portero of Ocean Life Studios. How are you?
Good, thank you.
And a new member of the Chamber.
Yes, I am this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's so nice to have you here.
Thank you.
So Ocean Life Studios, let's hear about that. What is Ocean Life? What's going on?
This to you. So I'll tell you how I created it, came up with the idea. So I'm a physician assistant. I work in a hospital in emergency medicine.
Oh, boy.
So it's long shift, long work, and my husband's a personal trainer. So he works at high-end fitness gyms.
Okay.
So one day I was coming home from work in the ER, and I was very tired, and I'm laying on the couch, exhausted, and my 5-year-old came next to me, and she says, "Mommy, are you happy?" And that took me aback that she noticed, like, my exhaustion.
Right.
She noticed my fatigue. She noticed my mood. She's 5 years old, and she asked me if I was happy. And so I started to reflect, and I said, wow, I'm not happy in the rat race.
Right.
And my husband's in the rat race. I never see him. He works early, works late. I said, wow, we're working very hard. And we both have 25 years experience in our fields. So I was like, let's do it together and make this community together. So we decided to make this fitness as a boutique fitness and wellness studio.
Okay.
So he's the director of fitness, I'm director of wellness, and we combined our skills and created Ocean Life Studio. So it's an integrative experience. In the front of the studio is all fitness. We have a variety of classes, children's class, adult classes. In the back of the house is wellness. We have acupuncture, nutrition, massage, medical consults. So the thought is this integrative experience, you'll become happy and healthier, right? Which I was missing in my life at that moment of...
What your 5-year-old...
My 5-year-old pointed out to me.
Yes. Mom, you look stressed out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So she rocketed me into this business and this business plan, and so it became Ocean Life Studio because the ocean is my favorite place to be.
Okay.
So I created the one here in Miami as Ocean Life Studio because ocean and just brings me joy and happiness and health and peace and all those things I want to bring people to.
Right.
But I'm originally from New York City, so we want to make a second location and call it City Life Studio.
Okay.
So we would have Ocean Life and City Life. And then my husband and I, we love traveling to Colorado.
All right.
And so we want to do Mountain Life.
Okay.
So that would be our 3 locations.
Great.
So that's kind of where we're going.
Right. So how long have you been in Miami?
2007.
Okay, so you've been here a little while. So you're not one of the transplants
No,
from
not
the
this new
pandemic.
COVID.
We got a lot of folks.
Yeah.
I believe they were saying at one point 1,000 people a day were moving into Florida, and it may have even increased since then. And obviously, Miami has become the place that everybody wants to be. I think we always knew that Miami was the place to be. But we talk about health. Before we got started, I mentioned that I teach yoga.
Yeah.
And is that a part of what you offer there at the studio?
Yes. So we have a variety of yoga classes. We do the vinyasa, which is a flow yoga.
Right.
We do aerial yoga. So there's silk hammocks from
Okay,
the
yeah,
ceiling.
familiar. Yes.
And we do aerial yoga. We do still mace yoga. So it's a weighted bar. And we do all the postures with this weight in our hands.
Okay, I'm not
So,
familiar with that.
yeah.
Could you explain that one a little bit?
Sure. So still mace, the actual weighted bar, is from India, and it's a very ancient way of fitness. So they would train with this bar, so when they went to battle, they could pull their sword out, or they
Right.
could ride on the horse. So it was an exercise that they used this bar with for many years, right? And it became a trendy fashion in fitness maybe
Right.
15 years ago.
Okay.
It's new to the States as far as fitness.
Okay.
And then this woman from India, she took yoga and still mace and brought it together. So there's this hybrid, it's fitness and yoga combined.
Okay.
So it's super unique. There's only 2 women certified in South Florida. I'm one of them and another
Okay.
lady, yes, yeah. So it's exciting. We do a lot of unique classes
I
there.
have to really check that out. As
Yeah.
I mentioned, I teach vinyasa. I've been teaching about 4 years now, maybe 5.
Awesome.
And I've been off and on. A lot of folks who've been off and on into yoga, you might go a month or 2, and you miss a month or 2. And then I decided to get serious about it. And I got my 200-hour certification, and I've been contemplating getting to 300 so I can go deeper. But that sounds interesting. In particular, I actually just started first of the year, beginning of February, actually going to the gym and actually working out and lifting weights and doing some other calisthenics and using the body. But talk about that whole, the importance of physical fitness and working out and doing something like yoga.
Right. Yeah, I don't think we all have to be triathlon athletes, like
Right.
these top star athletes. But I think daily exercise is so important for the health. If you have blood pressure, if you have anxiety, if you have any kind of element, I think starting with exercise
Right.
is really a big difference in your life. You
Right.
know, it's not a quick fix, go to the doctor
No.
and get a pill, right? It's
Right.
something that a lifestyle.
Right.
Lifestyle, right? So I think yoga is a great place to start. It's gentle on the joints, it strength trains, it balance. Most people don't know as we age, we lose our balance.
Right.
That's why most falls occur. And
Right.
I think yoga, retards that process of losing balance, right? So
Absolutely.
so many benefits.
Yeah. Again, speaking, I was in the gym, and and I'm sure you can relate to this. So one of the guys, they were lifting, and one of the guys saying, well, I can't do that right now because he has an injury.
Okay.
And what I told them, you see a lot of guys lifting 100, trying to curl 175, 100-pound bar.
Right.
And my analogy was, guys, you're not getting ready to compete for Mr. Universe.
Right.
So why are you, putting yourself through that? And like I said, he had an injury. Now he can't really do what he would like to do. And my whole premise is basically to keep my body tight. I'm not trying to be Mr. Olympia. I do want to build muscle because it's important, because we do, as we get older, we lose muscle mass and so on and so forth. So talk about that a little bit.
The importance of not overdoing
Yes,
it.
exactly, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. So I always start my class, I always say modification is a sign of wisdom, not weakness.
Okay.
So I always say this because people have these egos. I have to do more. I have to be the best. I have to be stronger. Like you said, 175 pounds. Why? Why?
Right.
So I think it's better for us to be wise, in our movement pattern. Yeah, I think you have to look at what your ultimate goal is and then plan it. My husband always does individual plans
Right.
for each person.
Okay.
Because your body type and my body type are two
Totally
different body types,
right,
right?
right.
So we shouldn't be doing the same exercises. So I think looking for goals and then setting a true plan so you don't get injured.
Right. Now, you mentioned acupuncture and
Yeah.
some of the other services talk about how acupuncture works a little bit, and talk about some of the other services that you provide.
Sure, yeah, so great. The Zen services are amazing, so it complements the fitness.
Okay.
So acupuncture, so we have Dr. Ma on staff. He's from China, 30 years physician, so he really knows what he's doing. I'm not Oriental medicine, I'm Western medicine trained.
Okay.
But, you know, he talks about the meridians, and he does the pulse and sees where your imbalance is, and he really treats a wide range of elements, you know, from weight loss to fertility. Most of our members see him for pain management.
Okay.
So if they have like back pain, neck pain, they see him for that, or for weight loss, our members. But he really can treat any kind of element. So we use him as the team, like one of the team members. So like if you're trying to, okay, for example, if you came to us and said, I'd like to lose weight, you'd see the personal trainer, get a fitness plan, see him for the acupuncture. He also does teas and some oriental medicines with the acupuncture treatments. And then hopefully you can meet your goal,
Right,
you know, with that. We also have massage therapy.
Okay.
And both the massage therapists do injury-based massage, and then they also do relaxation.
Okay.
So I don't know, I mentioned earlier I have a children's program.
Okay.
So my thought is the mothers can put their kids in the class and then go in the back of the house and have a massage, some mommy time.
Right.
So that's kind of the massages. They either treat the parents while the kids are practicing, or anybody who needs a massage. We all need a massage at
Yeah,
some point.
I need a massage. Huh?
Yes, come by.
I do. I was just saying to someone the other day, we were talking about massage. I said, I need a massage. I haven't had a massage in quite some time.
Yeah.
But speaking about massages, do you do Thai massage by any chance?
So we have somebody on staff who does that.
Because I'm one of those, I like to feel, I like deep tissue
for
massages versus Swiss or, you know, that little...
Moving the
yeah,
oil.
moving the oil. No.
Yeah. No, we definitely have that as well.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah.
And how long have you been at your location?
Oh, it's an interesting story. So this happened 2019. Well, 2018 is when my daughter came to me.
Right.
And it took a while to prepare everything, you know, the finances, the plan, the business plan. So 2019, I found the space, and it needed a lot of construction. So we started with the permitting, and there was a lot of mishaps.
Oh yeah, that part.
Yes, that part.
Yeah.
So it took an entire year, 2019 to 2020. So February.
And not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Was this something you were trying to do yourself?
Yeah. No. What do you mean? Myself.
I mean, in terms of the permitting and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned the hard way.
You learned, yeah. So that's one thing
Yeah.
I'll say to our audience. You know, she is a licensed nurse,
Physician assistant. Yeah.
assistant. That's her specialty.
Yes.
She's a yoga instructor. That's her specialty.
Yes.
She's not a specialist in building out space. So hire, you know, that's part of getting your back of your house together. You all hear me talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
And that's part of hiring the team around you.
Correct.
So it took you a year because we have another member of the chamber who has a restaurant, and they were dealing with issues with their contractor and that whole process for over a year, almost 2 years.
Oof.
And they were paying rent.
Rent. Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
So I cut you off, but go ahead and finish.
But this is
that's where you're going.
This is where I was.
Okay, yeah. So you're having the
So,
permitting issues.
Permitting contractor, we changed contractors. There was
Yeah.
multiple obstacles, multiple. And I remember sitting at a light one day, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this is not going to pan out. And as I'm sitting at this three-lane light, there's a Bentley here, a Rolls-Royce here, a Ferrari there, another fancy car. And I'm like, wait, this city has money. I can do this. Like, I can get through this. Like, I have to figure this out. The city has, look at all these beautiful cars around me. So the green light went, and I was like, I'm going to do it. Never mind. And I just kept going, right? So anyways, we got the permits. We got the construction finished. I opened February 2020. The best day of my life. March 7th, 2020, I got a notice. You have mandatory lockdown, the pandemic.
March 7th.
Yeah, so I was open basically 3.5 weeks.
Wow. Yeah.
The pandemic.
And, you know, the thing is, and I know the pain and suffering you went through because I was on the mayor's the panel for bringing everybody back, and gyms and spas were one of the last ones.
And I understand, but it was
because you're directly touching and engaging and so yeah.
So the day I closed, I'm not a crier. I'm a New Yorker, so I'm tough cookie. I sat outside the business and tears were coming down my eyes, and I called my grandmother. She's a very old lady, and I said, "Grandma, they closed my business. It took me a year." And I'm bawling, weeping. She's like, "Get it together." She's like, "I lived through World War II. I lived through the Great Depression." She's like, "This is nothing." Get it together.
Right.
I'm like, "Okay, I'll get it together." So I snapped out of that little moment of grief, and we transitioned. We started doing Zoom classes, right? Zoom flourished, right?
Yeah.
So we started doing Zoom classes, and then when we were allowed back to the studio, there was restrictions.
Right, you had to be 10 feet apart.
Right.
And all
the restrictions. So we started adding COVID testing. I partnered with a local doctor, and we started doing COVID testing.
Exactly.
So I was like, took my grandma's advice, and she's like, pivot, like just get it together, do something else, you know? So
Don't
we
sit
did
there,
Zoom.
don't have a pity party.
Oh, right, exactly. Thank goodness for grandma. But anyways, we started doing Zoom classes, we started doing COVID testing, and we're still in business.
Right.
You know?
And you're growing, and you're thriving.
Growing, yeah. So this year I added a third element. We're going to start doing retreats.
Okay.
Because I noticed all these people are coming to Miami.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, we're in this golden location. Let me use this thing I've created. I mean, I have this beautiful classes. I have the great massage therapists. So now I'm marketing to outside of Florida.
Okay.
Like New York, Chicago, people where they're cold and
Right.
come for a 3-day retreat.
Now, how do you do that? So your space, because usually when I think about a retreat, you're staying at a particular space.
Correct. So I partnered with 2 local hotels that are around my business.
Okay.
So I went and spoke with both the managers there. So I have a partnership. So I have dates selected for the retreats, and the person will sign in. They will stay at those hotels, and then I've created these packages. So one is called Lotus.
Okay.
In Lotus, you will take some of the yoga classes. You'll do a little detox program with supplements, massage, acupuncture. And then the second package is called Lion, and you'll do all the workout classes, boot camp. And so it's supposed to increase your metabolism.
Okay.
And yeah, they've been going great. I've only had 2 so far, but there's some more coming.
Oh, yeah. It has to start somewhere. Yeah. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Sure. Ocean Life Studios, or my phone number is 305, the business, 613-4033. So, yeah, or Instagram, Ocean Life Studio.
All right. Do you have a website?
Yeah, oceanlifestudios.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We might have to have a spa day a chamber spa day at Ocean Life
That would be
Studios.
lovely.
Yeah.
We could co-teach.
Yeah. Hey, I'll get back on the mat.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
This is exciting. You know, as I say, our health is our wealth.
Yeah.
You can have all the money in the world, and if you're not healthy, it means nothing. And you'll spend it all trying to get healthy. So why not be in front of it and do these things that, what I see with us, it's probably all over the world, not just Americans. You know, we finish high school and then we sit down.
Correct.
And we eat and then we sit down.
Correct.
And when we were younger, you ate. At least in my generation,
Right.
probably your
Yes.
generation, you ate and you ran outside and you ran around and you did everything.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm sure you're seeing it with kids, probably some obesity happening because they eat and then they're sitting on their on the phones.
Yeah.
They're not moving their bodies. So we really need to really promote this, and I really appreciate you being here. This has been the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. Ocean Studios, Ocean Life. we just want to thank you for joining us. If you want to know more about the Chamber, go to www.m-dcc.org. Stay tuned for our upcoming event, our Symposium and Business Leaders Lunch, which will happen on May 20th at the Hyatt, downtown Miami. But if you want to learn more about being healthy, reach out to Canela Bordero at
oceanlifestudios.com.
And the number is
305-613-4033.
And remember to reach the Chamber at 305-751-8648, www.m-dcc.org. So we're back in this beautiful studio here at Miami Dade North Campus, and I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Mike Fernandez, who is the Director of Miami-Dade County Solid Waste Department, and they're a proud sponsor of this month's Member Connection. Mike, how are you?
Good. How you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm great. You know, we were talking earlier before we got started today, and both of us we started right here.
Right here, hometown.
Yeah, Miami-Dade.
Miami-Dade,
Miami-Dade North Campus. You know, it's been home to so many of us here in South Florida. So, you know, Miami-Dade itself, the college, has played a major role in the lives of so many of us, as I said. And again, this is where you started.
Yep, and it's a great. I mean, great school. We all, you know, we've grown up here and learned from in this institution, as well as Florida International University. Right.
Right. Exactly. Because I started at Miami-Dade, and actually after I got out of the military, I proudly talk about my military experience from the perspective of I went in when I was 17 and I got out when I was 20. And I came here to the North Campus and then matriculated over to the FIU campus down south. And when I went to FIU, they actually, when I graduated in '82, they were just starting to build dorms. There were no dorms there. So here we are. Here, fast forward, 82 to 2022.
Wow. Yeah. We're here. Yeah. Things have changed.
Yeah,
right?
Things definitely have changed. But you know, you have been in the waste business. I mean, that's pretty much been your career. I'm sure you've done some other things, but you've basically mastered that. And here you are as the director of Miami-Dade County Solid Waste Department, and probably one of the most important departments that we have in the county. I mean, we have major departments, obviously the seaport, the airport, but
yeah, one that's taken for granted, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like I like to call ourselves the unsung heroes, basically, because it's one of the few services the county provides that we still have to go touch every single home twice a week. We service 350,000 homes, so that's twice a week we got to service. You know how many touches we have to touch in a year? That's millions of touches that we have to go out there. And you know, it's real simple that you just take your can out first thing in the morning. You get back at the end of the day, it's empty.
Right.
It's like magic, right? It just disappears. No one knows really or understands the logistics behind the scenes that happen to get that garbage to the appropriate location.
Right. What is a process in the life of a day of someone who is actually running the system, and even back, because you're bringing it back somewhere, and it's not all going to the landfill. It's going other places. So talk about the intricacies of moving trash.
Sure. So things have changed. I started in the business 25 years ago, so it has evolved over time. And these new automation trucks are really a great invention that came to the waste industry. One, the driver no longer has to get off the truck. Two, you lower your worker comp cases, your injuries. A lot of times are being on the back of the truck. I mean, you go pick up a bag, it may have glass or syringes or something, and you get poked. Not real fun stuff.
Wow.
As well as back injuries. Sometimes they'll put, you have heavy stuff and hurt your back, or slip and fall cases. But typical day in a garbage man's life or garbage woman's life as well, because we have plenty of women that are in the business too, and I think they drive better than the men, to be honest with you. But you gotta check your truck first thing in the morning. They start first thing in the morning, about 7 o'clock in the morning. Come into the yard. You make sure you do what we call a pre-trip inspection of the truck. Make sure everything's safe. Belts are good. Liquids are good. Oil, fluids, tires. Everything's checked out. So then we head out. Everybody has like their area. We call it a route. So everybody has their area that they go and service. So maybe it's like a perimeter, maybe from this avenue to this avenue, from this street to this street. So you handle that section, and typically a section can involve maybe over 1,000 homes that they pick up.
Wow.
That 1,000 homes probably equate to about two times that you have to go to a disposal site because you fill the truck up.
That was going to be my next question. 1,000. How many times does he have to run, or she has to run?
Typically 1,000 homes, and then it's really cool. There's a lot of science behind this. So typically your heavier days are Mondays and Tuesdays, weekend from the weekend. So those heavier days actually will involve the driver to have to go to the dump more often because you're going to pack out. We call it pack out the truck or fill up the truck quicker. Thursdays and Fridays is somewhat lighter. People are working during the week, so it's not so much stuff happening at the home, right?
Right.
So once you pick up the homes, they go out there, pick up these houses, they go to the nearest disposal site. So we got various sites throughout the county. For instance, in the northwest section of the county, we have a transfer station. It's called Northeast Transfer Station, right off of Miami Gardens Drive and like 6th Avenue, close to 95. And what we do there, these transfer stations are a great part of this whole system. What happens is these garbage trucks go dump at these transfer stations where then later on the garbage is consolidated in larger vehicles like tractor trailers.
Okay.
So the benefit of having this is that you have less garbage trucks on the road.
Okay.
Because if you didn't have that, that means these trucks have to go a further distance.
Right.
That means you need more garbage trucks on the road. Okay. And we don't need any more traffic in Miami-Dade County. So then once we consolidate the garbage in these larger loads of tractor trailers, we go into a final disposal site, such as a landfill or a waste-to-energy facility. Most of the garbage ends up at the waste-to-energy facility. I don't know if people know that, but we've had this waste-to-energy facility since the 1980s, out in Doral, Florida, and we process over 1 million tons of waste there. We actually pull out the metals from the waste on the front end. We actually reduce the waste. We shred the waste into smaller pieces, so we actually reduce it close to 90% of the volume it initially came in. And then we burn it, basically. And once we burn it, we actually produce electricity out of that.
Okay.
And it powers, the same electricity that we're burning with the garbage is generating the power at the plant, as well as sending electricity to the grid and selling it to customer FP&L, as well as City of Homestead. So in a nutshell, that's kind of the dynamics of how it gets to dump. I mean, at the end of the day, once the driver finishes his route, they come back to the yard, check their truck again. We call it post-trip inspection, and then they're done for the day. Honestly, it's a great job for someone that wants to be by themselves, and that's their office, and you just control. You have your clientele, which is your route, your neighbors, and honestly, a lot of our drivers know exactly what's happening in their neighborhood. I mean, personal stuff. I mean, they build these relationships with the homeowners, their customers, and then the homeowners actually, it becomes almost like a bond between the driver and the neighborhood.
Right. Well, we talk about the fact that the pickup is Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday.
Right.
What are they doing in between?
Mondays and Thursdays. So they work a 40-hour work week, 10-hour days.
Right.
Okay. So 10.
Okay. So that's basically their days.
So it's a great job because you can have Wednesdays off.
Right.
And the weekends off.
Right.
I mean, you got the day in the middle off, you can run some errands, and then the weekends to yourself.
All right, cool.
It's a really nice job.
Didn't know that.
Yep.
So again, when you talk about waste, the other part that happens every couple of weeks is recycle.
Recycling.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because I know there's a lot of I don't know if I want to say misnomer about what is recycled. I'm guilty. I probably throw a little bit of everything I think supposed to go into recycle, but there's some specifics that you're not supposed to be, and some specifics that you should put in there. Talk about recycling.
So recycling. So recycling is done every 2 weeks, and again, and I just want to illustrate that we don't service the entire county. We service the unincorporated area as well as 10 municipalities. So certain cities do their own thing, but if you're part of our program, you get picked up every 2 weeks. So it's a bi-weekly pickup. It's called single stream recycling. We do outsource that part of the program. It's out to, we have 2 vendors, one that picks up in the north and one that picks up in the south. And they go every same kind of concept. They go through. They have a route. They go through the neighborhoods. They pick up the recycling. They take it to a processing facility. So the process facility for recycling is, we call it a materials recovery facility, or MRF, and that's also outsourced as well. It's to the private sector. Waste Management runs that facility. But this is where all the recyclables go to, and then they get sorted out. Now, a couple of no-nos that we should not be putting in the recycling bin or recycling cart are bags, plastic bags, the famous plastic bags from Publix or the grocery stores. I hope you're not doing that.
No, I don't put those in there. I don't put those in there. That's my trash.
Hey, I won't snitch.
You know,
I won't call you out.
You know, Publix, you know, that has become the convenient trash bag in the house.
A lot of people love it. You know, it's so nice because everybody puts all their plastic and they tie it up. And
Right. No, I don't put
throw
the
it out.
I actually have a bin, a trash bin on the side. That's my recycle bin. And that's where all the bottles, plastic goes in there.
And you take that out,
then I take
right?
it out and I dump it inside the blue bin. But the Publix bag is the, you know, other trash.
They're a nightmare. And you know what it is? And they do have an emblem. You know, it does have the little recycling emblem on it. But really, the best thing to do with those are to take them back to the grocery store. They have typically the bins outside, these like containers, and you can just throw them in.
Right.
They'll go ahead and recycle. They're not part of our program. They're a nightmare at our processing facility. They get tied up in these screens, and constantly the workers have to shut down everything to pull these things out. It's like, it's like a vacuum. Imagine a vacuum cleaner just getting the roller, just getting strings, and then you got to pull everything out. Exactly. Wow. Same thing with the bags.
Well, you know, I didn't know that. I'm glad we're saying that because I'm guilty. I do, like I said, for trash, I put the trash in there and I tie it up and I throw it in the trash.
Right.
So
that's fine.
Oh, that's fine.
The garbage can.
The garbage, not the recycling.
Not the recycling.
Okay, so I'm good.
So you're good. So do you like eating pizza?
I love, yeah.
What do you do with your boxes?
Put them in the recycle.
No. Got you there. I got you there. You told on yourself right there. So
pizza boxes.
I walked you into that one.
Yeah.
So the pizza boxes. Unfortunately, the grease on the pizza ruins the cardboard fiber in the boxes. So if you've ever tried poking your finger, it gets soft. And what happens is at the recycling facilities, it just breaks. It crumbles up into little pieces.
God.
It's no good. So we tell people, don't put the pizza boxes and don't put the plastic bags.
Well, I hope you folks are listening, because this is some great education, because I had no idea that you shouldn't put a pizza box, because it's a box, in recycling. So pay attention, folks. Hey, Mike, we got to work on a campaign.
We do have a campaign. We do have a campaign, and we could definitely share something together. But it's called the Simple 5.
Right.
Simple 5. So it's the cardboard boxes are okay, except for pizza boxes. Glass, plastics, aluminum cans, and fiber and paper. So you could put all that in there, and generally put household items. We don't, just because, for instance, something like a Power Wheels, your child's Power Wheels car, just because it's made out of plastic, don't throw it in the bin. You know, it's not recyclable. Just give it to the Goodwill. You know, donate it to somebody, but don't put it in.
Okay.
We get that. We get pool pumps that are because it's plastic.
Wow.
We get trees because they think we can recycle the trees. We get clothing inside the recycling because they think the clothing can be recycled.
Yeah, all right.
No. So just keep it simple. Just household items. You know, the bottles, glass. You know, water bottles, soda bottles.
And a big one that I believe I understand, styrofoam.
Styrofoam's not recyclable.
Right.
Yeah, we don't want that. That thing just, when it hits the machines, it just like snows.
Explodes.
It snows inside the facility.
Okay. Well, we're getting down to the last few minutes, and a couple other things I want to talk about is the local, I don't know what you call them, the dumps that you can actually take your cuttings to, and your what do you call that?
So we call those trash and recycling centers,
Right,
neighborhood trash and
recycling
recycling
center,
centers. So
right.
we got 13 of those throughout the county. They're based from north to south, and they're great. They're great for the neighborhood. They're open 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. You could take as much as you want, and when I say as much as you want, it's really the materials is bulky, like bulky
Right.
items. You could, if you're doing maybe some construction at your house, you could bring some of that. I mean, we limit it up to 3 cubic yards, equivalent to like pickup truck size per load. You could come as many times as you want. Some sites do take mattresses. We accept mattresses. There, tires, and some e-waste like electronic TVs or electronic
What they call
waste.
white goods, your refrigerators.
We have white goods as well, and some facilities don't take it, and the reason why they don't take it is because they're small. The space is limited in there. Like I know we have one at Norwood, off of 199, and that site it's very small, very tight.
Right. Well, by me, I'm over in Biscayne Gardens Unincorporated, and I go to the one there off
Golden
of
Glades.
Memorial Highway. And I love it.
It's
because,
big. It's large. That one's
it's
big.
huge.
It's right next to the park, though.
Like some days, like you said, I might go there 2 or 3 times a day because I'm out in landscaping and cutting down palm fronds and what have you.
And it's convenient. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
you
very
could get rid of it when you want.
And then the other area that I was going to go to, because I'm one of those persons that I don't necessarily want to destroy my grass in the front of my house and wait for bulk pickup, but you have bulk pickup as well. So how does that work?
So the bulk pickup, everybody's entitled to 2 pickups a year. And on top of the 2 pickups, that's included in your fee that you pay. But on top of the 2 pickups, if you want an additional pickup, you could pay. It's about $25 a cubic yard. So how it works is basically you call in, and now we just changed to a new system, so you can actually make an appointment. So you call in 311, and they'll give you whatever dates are available. So they'll tell you, hey, Eric, we have April 13th available. Would you like to schedule an appointment there? Yes, schedule me. Okay, you could put the stuff out 2 or 3 days before that appointment date. Once that appointment day comes, our trucks come by, pick up the material, the waste, and take it.
Are we limited to anything that goes out there?
So that's a good question. So yes, it's limited to, again, vegetation, trash, and same thing where you can take it to the neighborhood trash and recycling centers. Same thing as a limitation. We don't want garbage. You can't be putting garbage in front of your house on the ground. We don't want that, but just limited to that.
Okay. So we talked about bulk. Now, I know one of the challenges you have, and I pray and I just thank God we've been blessed not to have a storm. Yeah, I know I'm saying I shouldn't. Yeah, I know. And I know that's one of your biggest challenges and one of your things you don't look forward to.
No.
But how do you prepare for that?
So we monitor storms closely, and it's almost time. Hurricane season is around the corner. I hate to say it, but we monitor whenever a storm develops on the Atlantic or out there. It could be the Gulf. We monitor closely if it turns into something significant. Even a tropical storm and it's coming close. We monitor that. We prepare. We have sites. We have these temporary. We call them debris sites. We activate those just in the event that we're going to have some sort of catastrophic weather here. As well as we make sure, like your piles, and that's the other thing, we tell people don't put piles out in front when the storm's approaching.
Right.
Those become projectiles at the end of the day, because the last thing I want is to have our men and women out there in the middle of a storm trying to pick this. They have family, they're people too, and I don't want to put them in harm's way. So we want to make sure folks don't put the stuff out. Use the TRCs. Take the stuff to the TRCs if you want, but don't schedule stuff and expect us to then try to pick that up in the middle of a storm.
Right.
So we do prepare for all that, and for instance, during Irma, we had these debris sites throughout the county. We hired contractors to come in and help us collect this, as well as our crews go out there and collect material on the right-of-way. But it's really not a fun event, but we are always monitoring that, and we are the lead agency for recovery after a storm.
Right. I could talk to you for another good half hour. This has been the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. If you want to get in touch with the Miami-Dade Solid Waste, how can they do that?
Just call 311, and anything they need there, they could definitely help them out with our customer service.
Okay, and if you wanted to know more about the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce, go to www.m-dcc.org or call the Chamber at 305-751-8648.